What's the word, my people? Another episode of Top Floor Talk back at you. It's the Yak. And, you know, NFL playoffs is here. I haven't really talked too much about my Eagles. I am an Eagles fan, been an Eagles fan since a shorty, you know. But, and we play today, so I'm going to have to talk about that regardless of how that goes. But I'm here to talk about the Packers and what happened yesterday. As we all know, the Packers lost 31-27 to the Bears in a crazy comeback fashion, 25 points in the fourth quarter for the Bears. Been doing this all season. Kudos to the Bears, man. I think a playoff win really does good for them. Even if they win or not, whether they win the next game or not, I think this playoff game really puts them in a good situation going forward. And all credit to the Bears. They deserve that win. They've been doing it all year, like I said, coming back in the fourth quarter, and they did it again at home. But the Packers season has been derailed really ever since Micah Parsons got injured. You know, they traded for Micah Parsons at the beginning of the season. It was a huge move. It was looking like a great move, and he tears his ACL, unfortunately. And since he's been hurt, it's been a tale of two teams. I think we can all watch. I don't have any stats to back it up, but we can all, if we've been watching the games, you can see that the Packers have not been the same since one of the best players in the league has been out. That's not really a surprise. The thing about this game is that in the first half, the Packers looked like they still had Mike out there. It was getting pressure on Caleb. Offense was going up and down the field all over the Bears. It was killing them in man coverage, especially on third downs. It was bad. First half, 21-3. I felt sorry for the Bears. I felt like, damn, they just had a great season with a whole bunch of, comebacks and crazy moments, all for it to just be stomped out at home by their ops. I felt really bad. And I even stopped watching. I was real tired last night, so I didn't even really watch the whole game. But when I went to bed, it was like 21-6. And I woke up in the middle of the night and it was 31-27. And I feel like a collapse like that, their season collapsed already, but a game collapse like that kind of makes Matt Lafleur's job untenable. Matt Lafleur is a very good coach, very good play caller, in my opinion. As an Eagles fan, though, I noticed when we played them, at some point when Vic Fangio was giving Matt Lafleur all the fits he could take, this guy turned his back to the game and stuck his face deeper in his playbook. And for me, that was a red flag. I don't think as a head coach that you really have the luxury to lose sight of the game at hand, even if you call the plays. And to me, that was like kind of an indictment on his focus. Like, look, I'm not saying you can't get your offense right. The offense was sputtering, but bro, you're turning your back on the game. Like literally turned his back on the game and stuck his face even deeper in his playbook. That was a red flag for me. And I feel like that's kind of been a problem with Matt Lafleur, conservative in the second half of games, not being able to close games out. This is what Packers fans have told me, Packers fans that I've talked with. Shout out my boy Rim Dog. But I think ultimately the reason why his job's untenable is because if you're the Packers front office, the Packers are one of the staples of this league, of this NFL. They're one of the staples. They're a historic team, and they were up 21-3 on the road versus their ops, and he fumbled the game. After a game like that, you can't give him an extension. You can't. Green Bay Packers are too historic, too big of an organization to give a coach an extension after he just blew a 21-3 lead at halftime. He really can't. He really can't. So it's like, there's no way you can give him an extension. You can't. There's no extension that can be given. And on his end, for Matt Lafleur, if I'm Matt Lafleur, there's no way I'm coaching this team without an extension because my name still rings bells. Odds are if Matt Lafleur lost his job right now, he'd get hired. So from a position of power standpoint, neither side can really concede. Like if Matt Lafleur walks away with an extension, oh man, he has one of the best agents I've ever seen. Because a game like that, losing up 21-3, you can't get an extension after that. Especially given, the last time Matt Lafleur was in the NFC Championship game, Aaron Rodgers was still his quarterback. Like he cannot get an extension after that. But to defend Matt Lafleur, if I'm Matt Lafleur, I'm not coaching without an extension. So I think the best thing for both sides is a parting of ways, and like a true parting of ways, not just like a situation where a guy got fired, but they want to be nice. I mean, like an actual parting of ways, because I don't feel like the Green Bay should just be like, oh yeah, get out of here. But it's like, yo, you're not getting an extension. Like you're basically coaching for your tenure here at this point. And if I'm Matt Lafleur, I'm not inviting that pressure onto myself. I've built too much of a name in this league as a good play caller to let that be my narrative that I gotta, I might get fired mid-season if I'm 5-4. That's a terrible look. So I feel like the best case scenario for both sides is to just part ways amicably. But what do you guys think? I'm just an Eagles fan talking my shit. I might have to make I'm going to make a video whether we win or lose, but I might have to make a video about Nick Sirianni getting fired. I wouldn't be too mad about that. But anyway, what do y'all think? Does Matt Lafleur stay? Does he coach on an extension? Does he get extended? What's the word? What y'all think? Peace.